Hi everyone, this is Felix Viroya, and in this video, I will share with you my key takeaways on the topics strategic groups within industries and industry life cycle analysis, as well as how this can help us identify opportunities and threats for our business and for our organization. When I was younger, I have dreamed of owning a car, but these pictures here, they are not my cars. They are cars, but they are made for different persons or markets. This is the best example of strategic groups within industries. Even in the same industry, differentiation is important, and factors that dictates their position are distribution channels used, market segments used, quality that they offer, technological leadership, customer service, pricing policy, advertising policy, and even promotions. Here is the strategic groups within the car industry as suggested by the World Automobile Industry. We have 4 groups that were classified based on their price and breadth of product lines. These 4 groups are Hyundai and Kia, followed by Toyota, Honda, and Nissan Group, and then Mercedes-Benz and BMW, and then Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Porsche. There are implications by these strategic groups. One is that their products and services within this strategic group are viewed as direct substitute by the customers. For example, a Toyota Vios can be viewed replaceable by a Honda City, and a Honda City can be replaceable by a Hyundai Accent. Second implication is that strategic groups have different relationships to each of the competitive forces, thus creating different set of opportunities and threats. And these are dictated by the competitive rivalry within the industry, the bargaining power of the suppliers, bargaining power of the customers, the threats of new entrants, and the threat of substitute products. Driven by the implications of these strategic groups, companies are going into proprietary mode. This means that they focus on developing products and services and apply for patents to protect their technology. This slide shows a settlement between Samsung and Huawei regarding a relevant case. As a key takeaway for the implications of strategic groups within industries, it is important to create a strategy and sustain differentiation of products and services. This can be done by scanning the opportunities and threats within the group and within the industry. There are cases where organizations see an opportunity of making profits into groups with less competition and thought of moving into that group. Making this move can be difficult due to mobility barriers. Mobility barriers are within industry factors that inhibit the movement of companies between strategic groups. If an organization pursue its plan to move to another strategic group, they have to assess readiness in all aspects of the business to still be relevant and competitive in their new group, or worst thing could happen, which is closure of the business, as they will be eaten by the competition if they move to that particular new group not ready. Changes that take place in an industry over time are important determinant of the strength of competitive forces in the industry. Companies in an industry often become more evident over time, and the strategies changes depending on the changes that happens within the industry. A useful tool for analyzing the effects of industry evolution on competitive forces is the industry life cycle analysis. This model identifies 5 sequential stages such as embryonic stage, growth stage, industry shakeout, and as a result, we anticipate possible scenarios and implement appropriate strategies thereof. Embryonic stage is the beginning stage of any industry. Growth is low due to industry product, service, unfamiliarity. Prices are high due to inability of leverage for economies of scale. Distribution channels are also poor. Rivalry in this stage is not based on price but the ability to educate the customers, to open channels, and to perfect the product and service. Once the demand began to increase, this starts the growth stage. Demand is expanding rapidly as many new customers enter the market. Price starts to fall due to economies of scale and distribution channels starts to develop. Barriers to entry is relatively low, thus potential competition is typically at its highest. This is where companies expand their revenues and profits. Explosive growth cannot be maintained indefinitely, and growth rate will slow down as it enters industry shakeout. Demand approaches saturation level and more demand is limited due to replacement products or services. Rivalry is building in this stage, and those companies tend to generate excess capacity. As a result of this excess, price wars is imminent till such bankruptcy. Industry shakeout ends as the mature stage enters. Market is saturated, demand is limited to replacement, and growth is low or zero. Barriers to entry increases, resulting to a reduced breadth entry of competitors. Those who survive in the industry shakeout will focus on brand loyalty and efficient, low-cost operations. Most industries enter a stage of decline where growth becomes negative for various reasons, including technological substitution, social changes, demographics, and international competition. Rivalry across established companies increases. Price wars is more evident due to excess capacity. Exit barriers are higher, making capacity reduction higher and severing price competition. Now, I summarized to the extent of my understanding the industry life cycle analysis. As shown, the stage or phase of the industry really dictates the competitiveness of the company in that industry. As a key takeaway for the strategic groups within industry, most industries are composed of strategic groups of companies pursuing the same or similar strategy. Companies in different strategic groups pursue different strategies. Differentiation will make them relevant and existent. Switching from one group can improve performance but will require them to break the barriers to mobility. Industries go through a well-defined life cycle, from embryonic stage through growth, shakeout, and maturity, and eventually decline. Each stage has different implications for the competitive structure of the industry, and each gives rise to its own opportunities and threats. Major factors observed are demand, pricing, barriers to entry, and rivalry. So that concludes my sharing about the topics assigned to me for Chapter 2. Thank you for listening.